These trades I'm excited to talk about because there's some big-time trades in here too, specifically. The first one is Bradley Chubb getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins acquired Bradley Chubb and a 2025 fifth-round pick. The Broncos acquired a 2023 first-round pick via San Francisco, a 2024 fourth-round pick, and Chase Edmonds. And before we go too in-depth into this move, the Dolphins had the number 3 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. They traded back to the 49ers pick. The Niners gave them 3 first-round picks. The Dolphins have turned those 3 first-round picks to Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. The Trey Lance trade,
good.
They traded Trey Lance basically for Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb.
That's
all those
amazing.
picks they
That's
utilized
huge.
in those trades, they traded to get those players.
Masterclass. What's there to say? Chris Greer, masterclass.
That's theft.
Him or Howie?
Yeah. Howie.
I would still go Howie Roseman.
Chris Greer still has, feel like, a few dark clouds over
But
him.
just in terms of the moves they've made recently, I think definitely this move is it tops everything.
I know Drew was happy as hell because he goes Bradley Chubb is guy in Denver to Miami.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to get a first for him. We talked about it last week or the week before. I was a bit surprised with his injury history, with his production issues that he's been on the field. We saw last year he had 0 sacks. This year he
hasn't been the guy he was supposed to be.
Correct, yeah, top 5 pick. This year he's definitely coming into his own. He already has 5-6 sacks on the season, I want to say. I think bringing Randy Gregory in, although he's been hurt, at least bringing some pressure off of him. Now he goes to Miami. I think it's a really good opportunity, especially because Miami's been blowing some teams out, right? When Tua's been on the field, they've been putting up a lot of points. The opposition's going to have to pass the ball. You're going to need some pass rushers. So going out, trading for Bradley Chubb, this is a win-now move for Miami. They are a team that I think are looking at themselves right now, especially offensively, saying we can compete with anybody. We can make a deep playoff push. The defense is still a little bit suspect, but obviously bringing in Bradley Chubb automatically becomes their best pass rusher. And then for Denver, the season's done, right? We talked about it last episode. I don't think they're turning it around, even though they're sitting at 3-5 right now. So it's not impossible, but I still think there's just too many question marks at quarterback, too many question marks at head coach. We don't know if Russ and Nathaniel Hackett, although they had a decent game against Jacksonville, can they do this consistently? I'm not sure. But getting a first-round pick, bringing in some, rookie talent on cheap deals when you have to pay Russell Wilson $250 million guaranteed makes a lot of sense for them.
There's a brand new fantasy app. It's called Boom Fantasy. You got over-unders, player props. You got matchups. This player versus that player. That's personally my favorite. And long shots. You can win 40 times your money. And if I'm not mistaken, Joel, NBA is coming soon.
Yes, sir. NBA will be in the app in the next 10 days or so. I believe opening night is October 19th, so we'll have stuff up a few days beforehand. That's going to be fun because we have it every night. You don't have to wait till Monday, Thursday.
Did you get your code? For the League Pass?
I did get my code for the League Pass.
I got my code too.
Yep, that's amazing.
That's from 2K, right?
Yes.
That's tough.
Amazing.
That's fire.
So if you guys haven't already, download the Boom Fantasy app right now. Link is in our description or in the caption wherever you're watching.
Let me ask you. Well, I was going to ask you a question, but I was thinking about it. Chiefs, Bills. For starters, I do think they can come out of the AFC. Like I genuinely think so.
You think they could go into Buffalo or KC? I know they can make a playoff push. They can win a game or two.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this monkey wrench at you. I think if circumstances if they don't have to play the Bills or the Chiefs, if the magically it happens where the Chiefs and the Bills play each other, then I can see a world.
They'll play one of them most likely.
Well, but they can play one of them in the AFC Championship, which then I could see. Okay, I can see them, maybe sneaking one out. But I think Miami should definitely feel like they have a chance to come out the AFC. They have one of the best offenses in the league. They have an offense that can compete with those two type of offenses. And you need a pass rusher when you're playing teams like Josh Allen, teams like Patrick Mahomes. You need somebody to come off. So I think this is a good move, and this is really gearing them for the playoffs because they're making moves that ultimately lets their fans know we're all in on this team, which they should be. We think we can win with Tua, which when Tua's on the field, like you said, they've been amazing. So, and they already beat the Bills. So they have that little thought in their head, we already beat this team. We feel like we can beat them again. So I think this is a move that definitely puts them in a position where it's we can really run it, we can really win. Because I think this is one of the teams I'm looking at in the AFC that can really give the Bills and the Chiefs a run for their money because they're the only offense I look at in the league right now that can really go toe-to-toe, point for point with both teams. So
the Broncos made this move not because they didn't want to keep Bradley Chubb, but because they're paying a quarterback so much money that they kind of had to trade Bradley Chubb. Their cap doesn't allow for them to keep him and pay him as well. So out of all the bad moves the Broncos have made, this is a good one. They now replenish a first-round pick. They don't have to pay Bradley Chubb. They get Chase Edmonds in this trade, and they were lacking a running back.
He's been ass.
He hasn't been good, but he hasn't been good because the Dolphins' offensive line isn't also the best.
Raheem Mostert's been eating.
He's been better, for sure.
And Edmonds has the most drop passes for running back in the league. He can't catch to save his life.
But Chase Edmonds at least gives the Broncos a little bit of a boost offensively. And it's just about them as replenishing picks and seeing maybe if they can make a run. And it's obvious they trust their edge rushers and Randy Gregory and Baron Browning, who's really come onto the scene these past couple of weeks. The Dolphins, though, I think this move does put them into contention. They're 8th in pass rush win rate. They're 6th in run stop win rate, but they're 22nd in sacks. They're not able to finish off these pressures. Bradley Chubb can do that. He has 5.5 sacks on a year. He'd have the most on the Dolphins. He has the most on the Dolphins currently right now. And now you're pairing Bradley Chubb with Jalen Phillips, who both of them are top 10 in pass rush win rate. Phillips is 10th, and Bradley Chubb is 3rd. The Dolphins can contend. They can seriously contend. And I think this puts less pressure on their defense. They don't have to manufacture pressure as often as they were doing because they were sending a lot of blitzes and teams are catching up to that. Now they don't have to. They can sit back in coverage, let their front four get after it. And that's the only way you're going to beat Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is if you have elite edge rushers that can get after them, that can get them to the ground.
Low-key move they made too, trade a 5th for Jeff Wilson. Getting it back up. Raheem Mostert has had injury history his damn near his whole career. Jeff Wilson back from the 49ers, knows McDaniel's system obviously very well. I definitely think it's an upgrade over Chase Edmonds.
Do you think Miami can contend? I feel like you wasn't really vibing with that.
I'm not ready to put them.
Like, I'm not saying that tier, but
yeah, they can win a playoff game or two for sure.
That's not the other shit. Not movie.
I don't see them. I don't see them as Super Bowl contenders.
Well, okay.
But can they get if they don't have to play Buffalo or KC? I think the Bengals would beat them as well. The Ravens, I'm still going to favor the Ravens, obviously, because that's my team. They were up big on them as well. I don't think they have that type of collapse, but can they compete with the Ravens? Sure. Can they compete with Cincinnati? Sure. If Jamar's on the field, I don't know. But I think they definitely should have made this move going right now. You have the team. You have the team ready. Like, if it was any team that could do it, it's this team now with Bradley Chubb, right? It's not like you're going to go in the offseason and make a whole bunch of moves to upgrade this team. You don't have the draft picks anymore. You have some cap space, but you're also paying Tyreek Hill $30 million. Tua's coming up in a couple of years as well if you want to pay him long term. So go out, be aggressive now.
You'd give the Bengals more of a chance than the Dolphins in the playoffs.
Yes.
Why?
That's actually shocking.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again?
Why?
Who do you trust more, Bengals or Dolphins?
Oh, the Bengals.
Now he says why.
Joe Burrow.
Oh.
That's it.
Joe Burrow and the defense is better.
Okay.
So
and they've done it.
Who do you trust more, the Ravens or the Miami, just real quick?
That's closer.
Okay.
That is closer.
That's just all I needed to know.
Because I actually disagree. I think Joe Burrow's better than Tua. There's no doubt. And I trust him more. But when I look at both teams, Miami has a better offensive line. Miami has a better run game. They have their receivers are even.
Yes.
Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Higgins, Chase, it's even. Defensively, the Bengals just lost Chidobe Awuzie for the year.
That's true.
He's gone.
That's true.
Their secondary right now, you don't trust a corner man to man. You don't trust them too much right now in Cincy. Their front four can generate pressure, but I look at Miami Dolphins right now with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins on the defensive line.
Team.
I think that defensive line matches up with Cincy, and I think their secondary is far better with Javon Holland, Xavier, and Byron Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Dolphins have a better team.
The Dolphins have talent-wise paper. Like, if you look at just paper, it adds up, but production-wise, Cincinnati's defense has cleared Miami's this year.
You're right, but they also just got smoked by Jacoby Brissett.
They did. Now they haven't been able to beat Joe Burrow. I mean, you know what I mean. Joe Burrow hasn't been able to beat the Bengals. For whatever reason, the Browns just have the Bengals number over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad.
Division game.
No.
Because I do think
Brissett's had some good games. Like, we clown on him all the time. He's had multiple games where he showed out. He's been really efficient.
I just look at the Dolphins and I think, no, the Dolphins have a better roster.